A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the future of Jason Morgan. Ever since his highly anticipated return in the monumental 16,000th episode, we have all been watching his every move under a microscope. He came back a changed man, scarred by his time in WSB captivity and desperate to reclaim the lost years with his son, Danny Morgan. He made the ultimate declaration. He was cutting ties with Sonny Corinthos and the mob lifestyle forever. It sounded like the perfect, peaceful new chapter. But as we have watched him navigate this so-called peaceful transition, a chilling realization has started to creep in. Something isn't adding up anymore. The math of Jason's new life is completely fractured, and we need to talk about why. Let us look closely at the evidence that is sitting right in front of us. Jason claims his sole focus is Danny, yet there are strange, unaccounted for gaps in his timeline recently. He has these moments of intense, brooding silence where he seems completely detached from the present reality. He is operating with a level of secrecy that goes far beyond his usual stoic demeanor. He is hiding something massive, a secret agenda or a covert operation that he is running entirely off the book. And that's where things become interesting. Jason has a long, documented history of carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, of absorbing the sins of others to protect them. We only have to look back a few weeks to see this exact psychological pattern in action. When Rocco Falconeri pulled the trigger and shot Ross Cullum on the pier, what did Jason do? He didn't hesitate. He immediately took the fall for a teenage boy, allowing himself to be dragged away to a secret WSB black site, fully prepared to rot in a cell so Rocco could have a future. Jason has a martyr complex that is deeply ingrained in his DNA. He is biologically programmed to sacrifice his own freedom for the people he deems worthy of protection. This historical precedent is the ultimate clue, the skeleton key that unlocks the massive, devastating theory we are about to unpack today. To understand the sheer scale of what is coming, we have to pivot and look at the other dangerous pieces currently moving across the Port Charles chessboard. There is a brewing storm of epic proportions, and it involves three very specific, very dangerous men who are currently playing with fire. First, we have Jack Brennan. Brennan is deeply entangled in a high-stakes game of blackmail involving Willow Kane, Drew Kane, and Nina Reeve. He is desperately hunting for a missing black box that contains explosive secrets, all while dodging WSB assassins and trying to maintain his cover. Brennan is a man walking on a razor's edge, and his luck is bound to run out. Then we have Kai Taylor. Kai is not just an innocent bystander. He is a man who knows too much. He has discovered the shocking truth that Drew Kane is rapidly regaining his mobility and faking his locked-in syndrome to a certain extent. Kai knows that Willow is desperate to silence Drew, and he is actively plotting a rescue mission with Trina Robbins. Kai is holding onto a secret that makes him a massive liability to some very ruthless people. He's a wild card, and in this town, wild cards usually end up getting burned. Finally, we have the newly arrived Hudson. This mysterious business executive stepped off the plane and immediately cast a dark shadow over the city. He is hunting for a specific person, a pursuit so terrifying that it forced Ethan Lovett to completely abandon his new romance with Ava Jerome and flee the city in a blind panic. Hudson represents an unknown, lethal variable. He operates in the shadows, bringing a level of corporate and criminal espionage that makes him a walking target. Now, ask yourself, what happens when the trajectories of Jack Brennan, Kai Taylor, and Hudson suddenly collide? It may not be a coincidence that these three men, all harboring explosive secrets and dangerous enemies, are operating in such close proximity. If you ask me, we are looking at a fatal convergence. We are looking at a scenario where all of these volatile elements are forced into a single enclosed space. And when that happens, the only possible outcome is utter devastation. Here is the big reveal theory, the massive secret that is about to blow the roof off of Port Charles. I believe that a catastrophic, earth-shattering explosion is going to rock this city to its core. This won't be a minor accident. It will be a targeted, absolute leveling of a location, and the casualties will be massive. The theory is that this explosion will instantly wipe out Jack Brennan, Kai Taylor, and Hudson. Three major players instantly erased from the canvas in a storm of fire and shrapnel. The sheer magnitude of this event will send shockwaves through the PCPD, the WSB, and the criminal underworld. But the explosion itself is only the first half of this nightmare. The bigger question is, who will be blamed for this horrific act of mass murder? When the smoke clears and Anna Devane and her detectives begin sifting through the wreckage, the evidence is going to point in one very specific, very undeniable direction. The prime suspect, the man whose face will be plastered on every wanted poster and news bulletin, will be none other than Jason Morgan. This is where the true tragedy of the storyline begins to unfold. We know Jason Morgan is not a mass murderer. He is a lethal enforcer, yes, but he does not plant bombs to indiscriminately slaughter people. He is not the one who will cause the explosion that makes Brennan, Kai, and Hudson disappear forever. But when Anna Devane pulls him into that interrogation room, slides the damning evidence across the table, and demands to know his whereabouts at the exact time of the detonation, Jason will do the unthinkable. He will remain completely, utterly silent. Jason will have no alibi to offer the police. Or rather, he will have an alibi, but it will be a truth so dangerous, so deeply compromising, that he will refuse to speak it aloud. He will not be able to justify his mysterious actions. He will not be able to publicly explain where he was or what covert operation he was running when the bomb went off. This could explain a lot about his recent secretive behavior. Whatever he has been doing in the shadows, whether he is protecting a deeply embedded WSB asset, shielding someone like Carly or Danny from a lethal threat, or covering up a completely different crime to save a loved one, it is a secret he is willing to die for. This brings us to the agonizing reality of the actor behind the leather jacket. The whispers in the industry suggest that Steve Burton might be officially wrapping up his time on the show by the end of 2026. If this timeline holds true, this explosive storyline is the grand, tragic exit strategy for his character. Jason Morgan will not go out in a blaze of glory fighting a mob war. He will go out as a silent martyr. He will accept a false conviction, allowing the entire world to believe he is a domestic terrorist simply because the alternative, revealing his true alibi, would cause unimaginable destruction to someone he loved. If this theory proves correct, the aftermath will be an emotional bloodbath for the people left behind. Think about Danny Morgan. This poor kid just got his father back. Jason looked him in the eye and promised that he was leaving the mob, that Danny was his absolute top priority, and that they were going to build a real life together. For Danny to watch his father be dragged away in handcuffs, condemned for a horrific bombing, will completely shatter his world. The betrayal Danny will feel, believing his father lied to him about changing his ways, will be a psychological wound that might never heal. And what about Sonny and Carly? Sonny, despite their recent fracture, still views Jason as a brother. To see Jason go down for a crime that lacks his usual precision and code of honor will leave Sonny spiraling into paranoia, wondering who truly set his former enforcer up. Carly will be absolutely destroyed. She knows Jason better than anyone. She will know in her bones that he didn't plant that bomb. But she will also recognize the stubborn, unyielding look in his eyes. She will know that Jason has locked his jaw and thrown away the key, and there is absolutely nothing she can do to save him from the prison sentence he is willingly walking into. There may be more to this story than just a simple framing. The writers are meticulously laying the groundwork for a departure that honors the core essence of who Jason Morgan is, a protector who sacrifices himself so others can live in the light. By sending him to a maximum security federal prison, perhaps even a specialized WSB containment facility where he cannot be reached, the show effectively writes Steve Burton off the canvas while keeping the legend of Jason. Morgan intact? He doesn't die. He simply fades into the concrete and steel, holding onto a secret that saves Port Charles from an even darker fate. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, guys. Every scene Jason shares with Danny right now feels heavy with unspoken goodbyes. Every secretive glance he shoots across a room feels like a man who knows his days of freedom are numbered. The board is being set. The victims Brennan, Kai, and Hudson are being maneuvered into position. The explosive trigger is waiting to be pulled by an unseen hand. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, and the countdown to the end of 2026 has already begun. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next, and honestly, I don't think any of us are emotionally prepared to watch Jason Morgan take the fall one last time. Keep your eyes peeled, analyze every single line of dialogue, and trust your instinct. The storm is coming, and it is going to wash away everything we thought we knew.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.